What is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at Shadow Fiend, specifically Parker Shadow Fiend. Now, Parker is someone a lot of you guys probably know. If you don't know who he is, he honestly not too long ago was lower ranked than me, and I'm not kidding. And then all of a sudden, he's ranked 6 in Europe. So either he's win trading or he's really good. I think he's really good. I don't believe he's win trading. I don't think he's win trading. He's not win trading, but this guy's explosive AF. I'm telling you, he is one of the most explosive, aggressive carry players I've seen in a while. It's really impressive. The moves he makes, the tempo he plays, and he does it on almost every hero. I've watched him play a lot of Gyro, because Gyro is my favorite carry in the game, outside of Nature's Prophet. So I watch a lot of his Gyro. He plays extremely aggressive. His items vary from game to game. He very much switches it up based on matchups. He's super good at using the gate, putting pressure, making moves. It's really good. It's like, it feels like a modern day carry, the way he plays, rather than kind of just like a greedy AFK farm, do nothing type of carry. So let's see what he does and how he makes moves. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. So the first thing, honestly, right off the bat that I thought was cool is at the runes, usually as the carry, you contest this rune, and then you just go to your safe lane. But no, he's actually willing to play for the runes. Now, nothing happens. No kills happen. He's going to hit the gate. I thought he was going to do the move command. If you move command to here, you can hit the gate from the bottom. It's way faster, like way faster. It's like a full second faster, second and a half faster. So, yeah, it's kind of funny that I think he tried to do it, but messed it up. All right, so for the lane, honestly, nothing crazy. He ends up like really just kind of going even. The enemy lane is Sniper Centaur, and he has an Omni Knight. Omni Knight is not a high pressure laner against heroes like Sniper and Centaur. Sniper easily outzones the Omni, and Centaur, if you go close to Centaur as Omni Knight, you're going to take all of your health and probably die to Sniper. So this is a lane where nothing should happen. Best case scenario is he's not pushing the lane. In fact, he's raising very, very little, and it's important that he isn't just like randomly raising in this lane. And it's important to note that, right? He does do one there, which hits the Centaur and gets him the melee creep, but it should not be this like triple raise all in lane. And it's important to understand that difference, as even there, he actually pump fakes for the range, manages to get the range creep. Now, I think does he buy 0 tangos? No way. Okay, he actually buys no tangos. Eat the tango. Oh my god, he let a tango expire. I take it all back. This guy's actually the worst player. Alright, either way, he buys no tangos. Do I recommend this in your pubs? No. He is 100% reliant on his position 5, who will have to buy a salve and 6 tangos, maybe even 9 tangos at this rate. So do not do this, but it's the way to kind of get through these hard lanes where you buy boots so you can position around the Centaur. And I think the boots here is really smart. Things like this are what make people rank 6, guys. I'm dead serious, just understanding how important boots is against the Sniper Centaur lane, because this is a lane where you're going to die from full. Yeah, Omni can bail you out with Repel. He's skilled Repel in this lane, which I really like against Sniper and Centaur. But it's smart. You don't want to get gone on. You don't want to force your Omni Knight to Repel randomly, because if he has to do that, they're just going to make a move when Repel's on cooldown. So it's important for him to have these boots. I think it's really cool, actually. Yeah, all right. Lane has stayed back. He's been very good about not pushing it, keeping it in a good position, mainly by not pulling random creep aggro. He has pulled almost no major creep aggro in this lane, because creep aggro tends to actually push the lane, guys. And yeah, he hasn't raised randomly. Also, another thing to note is he actively did not skill Presence of the Dark Lord. And this is what I mean, guys. Like, people who are ranked 6, they just understand the dynamics of lanes and how everything kind of works together, because most people would just, well, skill Presence of the Dark Lord, and that pushes the lane really, really hard. It's minus armor on all of the creeps. It's really bad if you're trying to keep lane control. And for some Shadow Fiend lanes, you don't need lane control, because you can build up some early souls, and you can play aggressive with the raises. But in this lane, they're in a weak lane. They're in a losing lane. All right, for his next item, he buys a Sage's Mask, which is going to build into the Falcon Blade. He will be buying Falcon Blade next. I thought maybe he would pick up Raindrops, because it's such a good Shadow Fiend item. This hero is really squishy. You really need the mana. You're against Centaur. You're against Void Spirit. You're even against Sniper, right? So I thought he would consider that. He didn't. Finds a kill here. Minute 7, he does eventually skill up the Presence. I think he skilled it at level 5. Obviously, he was just holding the point for when he didn't need to hold the lane anymore. And at this point, he's got high mana. Falcon Blade coming out. Dragonlance up next. Let's see if he buys the Belt of Strength. Some people will. No, he didn't. I actually would have liked to see him do that. I think it's really good. Right, this build to strength gives 120 HP at this point in the game. And so it's actually really good for these early fights that players like Parker like taking. As he considers hitting the gate here, he's going to farm these back camps a lot. And he does actually hit the gate now. I think the reason why is he sees Alk is level 5, and he thinks there's an opportunity to kill the guy before he hits 6. Unfortunately, the Alk hit 6 and the Mars was not ready. I don't know what he was doing, but he was not ready. I think it was a good idea though, because it's just one of those things where, oh, Alk is pre-6, we can kind of get the job done. And he does end up hitting the gate here, and this is what I mean. This guy just spams the gate. And to be fair, in order to do this, you need to play heroes that are good at it, as... Oh, did he do that too late? Oh, what a repel. I think he would have gotten hit by that Alk Stomp. I think he did mess up the timing, but boom. Explodes on the Alk. 5 heroes come bottom. And this is, this is some, pro Dota type of thing, where 5 heroes explode on the same lane at minute 9. This will never happen in your pub, but what you can have happen in your pub is you can gate and you can wrap on weak safe lane heroes, especially when you're playing an early game centric hero that has potential with early game items, right? Wand Falcon Blade, as I said, would have loved to see the Belt of Strength and raindrops, and you can do all these things, right? You can buy all of these small items. For his neutral item, he gets an Arcane Ring as he ends up going down in a moment from now. Good plays from Kuyas here to defend the safe lane tower. Queues up the Dragonlance. Swaps in the Belt of Strength, so he was going to buy it anyway, so probably just a bit of a mistake in that regard. Finishes up the Dragonlance here, he's going to push in top wave. And it seems like, to me, his mentality is pushing the top wave so I can gate again. He does call his Omni Knight to sit behind him, or at least I assume he is calling his Omni Knight to sit behind him. And immediately walks to the gate. Funny enough, after the pause that briefly happened there, he changes his mind. His team was not in position. The Mars was not ready. I think maybe they could have done it, but it was no vision. I agree it would have been kind of forced. It's not like the enemy team is weak at this point of the game. Void Spirit's really strong, Sniper's strong, Ench is fine. So I think it would have been semi-forced at that point. As he's going to cut up the wave. Pop a Lotus. And he does gate again. And of course, you need to gate when the wave... Okay, well, a couple things. You kind of want to do it when the wave is pushing in. If you do it when there's no wave, no one's going to show, and it's going to be hard to know who to go on or where to go. But if the wave is pushed in like this, or like last time, the enemy hero will show, and that's when it's easy to jump them. That's very advanced, but it's easy to understand. Wave is near the tower, someone will show, that's the best time to gate. Ends up bumping into the sniper here, finds the perfect angle, 2 raises, easy kill. They force the Alk out of bottom, which is really good for griefing the Alk's game. And they will now take the bottom tower. Also, he's playing with the Lasting Presence facet, which reduces more armor after nearby enemy heroes are killed. It's an extra 2 armor per hero killed. It's really strong. He had one there, so now his minus armor is just 9. Yeah, this facet can get pretty crazy in the mid game if you win a team fight, because it also eventually works on buildings at level 15. So this hero is kind of like a Luna, where if you win a fight, it will kill all of the buildings. I thought this play is cool as well, where Dragonlance is the siege item. I don't think a lot of people think about it that way, but Dragonlance is the siege item. You buy this item if you want to press the early game and hit towers. It's fine for farming like Ancients as well, so you take less damage, but the main value of this item is so they're going to kill off this tower, and the Ench walks in. This was a surprising death from Ench. I guess a bit of a side note, but I think they saw them run up here, but he wanted to bait. It was definitely a bit of a misread, because the Ench just instantly dies. And the team fight here is not comparable for the sides. I mean, Omni Knight is stronger than Ench at this point in the game, I'd say. Like, now that it's the mid-ish game. Ench is stronger for, like, the first 12, 11 minutes. Obviously, it depends on a lot of factors, like how the game is going and how many levels the Omni Knight has. But now that the Omni's level 7, I mean, the Snap is level 8 to the 6 of Sniper. I mean, this is a hard fight to take. You're out-leveled on your subs, your carry. I mean, thankfully, the only maybe redeeming part about this fight is Alk has Radiance on Courier, so there's like an angle. But yeah, the Ench gets picked off in kind of a poor way. The SF's getting gone on, but he obviously trusts his Omni Knight to bail him out, which is part of the nice thing about SF this game. It also plays into his items, which we'll come into in a bit. But man, what an arena into the Snapple. Whew. He didn't have to do much there, let me tell you. His team kind of cooked in that fight. He just right-clicked the first person you see. Okay, so yeah, in terms of items, this is not a build you can go in your average Shadow Fiend game. And this is where the average player is just going to ruin their pub. They're going to buy a Shadow Blade when they don't have Omni Knight. You can do this, but you have to play if you're going to do this without an Omni Knight, you only can go in team fights when everyone is committed. You can only go in when the Alk has thrown his stun, when the Centaur has gone in, when the Void Spirit has gone. You basically need to make sure that people have like super gone in, or it's going to be really hard to actually fight. He even buys a Silver Edge when really there's no one to break. I mean, Centaur is okay. Other than that, I mean, maybe Corrosive Weaponry, but not really. That's not something you buy Silver Edge for. I think for him, it was just a damage item, oddly enough. It's just like, is Silver Edge even a good damage item? What is the damage increase? 20 damage to 60? I don't know. Part of me feels like this is bad. Maybe it's a slot thing. Like, it does give him better slots. I mean, he has a branch, so you could be like, why in the world would you worry about slots? And I'm kind of thinking the same thing. So I don't know how much I like this. It does lower the cooldown. It gives you 300 damage out of the hit. It makes you move faster. It lets you get around the map. I mean, the cooldown lowering and the increased movement speed, as well as the burst damage. I mean, maybe Silver Edge is a better early game item than I think. It does give you an extra 125 damage of immediate burst coming out of the Shadow Blade. Lower cooldown and more movement speed. So maybe it's okay, but it's really only something you can do when you have an Omni. Because otherwise you need Hurricane Pike or you need BKB so you don't insta-die to nukes. If you don't have Pike, you can't get out of range of all the nukes. If you don't have BKB, you don't have BKB. Teamfight breaks out here. He walks mid. By the way, he's really good about this where like they're pushing mid tower at minute 15. He walks bottom. He's telling his team, I'm walking bottom, I'm going to push bottom. But his team is like not doing it exactly. So he pushes him bottom and uses the Silver Edge movement speed to immediately get back to mid. Which is nice. Fight breaks out. I feel like he could have killed this Void Spirit by just right-clicking him, because he didn't even get to use the Silver Edge hit, so I'm pretty sure that was wrong. I don't know, but whatever. It kind of doesn't matter in this case, as they get the kill, and he's so fast at connecting. Really good about it. Pushing one wave, getting back to his team, off to the mid-tier 2, off to the bot tier 2. Wait, how did he get there? What? Oh, he just ran. Damn, this hero's so fast in Silver Edge. To be fair, you're fast in Shadowblade too. It's not like it's just a Silver Edge thing. I think it's what, only 2% more movement speed? It's 5%. That's a lot, actually. But okay, actually decides to farm some of the outside camps, which is not something you expect from him. TP is in with the Shadowblade, which is something cool that you can do. All you have to do is TP and then click your Shadowblade. Break on the Ench. I mean, I guess you could break Ench. Usually breaking... I guess breaking Ench is okay. I don't know. It is alright. You know, this hero doesn't want a frontline and doesn't typically die to SF too easily. It's alright. Next up, he picks up Sange and Yasha, which they have a lot of stuns, so it's fair. I kind of thought Pike might be better, just because it's really good against like Void Spirit and Centaur and Alk to get them off of you, but I think his mindset here is he just needs to stand his ground. With this Omni Knight, all he needs to do is stand there. This is not a build that would go well in your average pub, though. I'm just repeating that because people are going to copy this shit, feed their brains out, and be like, Speed told me to do it. And it's like, I did not tell you to do this. I'm telling you, this is why he is good. He's buying items because of his matchups, mostly because of this guy. Like, really mostly because of this shit. It's as simple as that. Fight breaks out. This fight's an important fight to look at because Kuyas plays it pretty well, and so he gets kited a bit, but just note when you're playing heroes like Shadow Fiend or most ranged right clickers that kind of just stand there and hit, you just hit the closest person, guys. You want to push them away, chip them down, and stay in formation. Like, he's very good about it here. Hits onto the edge, then Sniper gets close, hits the Sniper. Notice how he's changing target to the closest person. That's something that makes you immediately much better if you just understand that idea of just don't chase on heroes like Shadow Fiend. Bad Shadow Fiends will chase, they'll get isolated, they'll force their team to overextend, they'll overextend. Disaster. Also, at this point in the game, Blasting Presence now works on buildings. So this building has minus 14 armor. He also got Impending Corruption, or the Orbo Destruction passive. So another 3 armor reduction, which, you know, I'm not used to seeing this item taken nowadays because it's kind of bad. But on Shadow Fiend, yeah, you can play around armor reduction stacking, especially against something like Alk, who lacks a bit of armor. Centaur sometimes lacks some armor. He's going Pipe. Void Spirit has only 15, so he's putting everyone into the negative if he has stacks of this. And yeah, here comes the aggression. Also, by the way, I didn't even mention that they took Roche. It is good to note, because you can't really end the game without Aegis, so I'll go back quickly. They did, after that Inch kill, they immediately kill off the Roche, which is great. I think in a lot of games you don't need to prioritize Roche, but in this game, they have a good siege comp because Shadow Fiend can hit and Omni Knight can easily bail him out. So it's one of those games where it just makes sense to sort of siege and push and so on and so on. So, all right, we're back onto the high ground. Level 15, this is the main timing to siege. I don't know if that's something that plays a factor for him, which is that level 15 timing, but it's certainly significant. It's certainly significant. I mean, these buildings just melt, especially with this destruction. I keep wanting to say corrosion. Hitting the buildings. Enemy team does not want to go on him. They kind of have to jump the backline. And immediately, look at this positioning. Love this. His backline gets jumped, runs back. Look at that. Backline gets jumped, runs back, zones out the sniper as we talk about, hitting the close target. Centaur gets trapped in the arena, hitting the Centaur. Now shifting towards the backline. Man, I love this guy's positioning. All of the things that I think about when I'm watching my replays and I'm like, wow, I'm messing up so much. He's just doing them. I can tell. I watched one of my carry games recently and I'm like, I'm so bad at kiting out on the initiation or protecting my backline. He's really good at it. Just protecting his backline, making sure they're staying alive, not getting isolated because he thinks he's strong and needs to be a Giga Chad, right? A lot of people are like, they'll just hold their ground. It's stupid. Move backwards, make the enemy team overextend, and protect your backline. And he's really good about that. Bought Pike, by the way, Sange and Yasha into Pike. Notice how he's not pure glass cannon, even though he has Omni Knight. These items are really nice. You already hit hard on this hero. And that's it. It's going to be the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed. I'm definitely a fan of his gameplay. Obviously, like, this explosive gameplay, if you're not good at it, will just make you look terrible. It's 10 times easier to just AFK farm, hit big timings, and then show up. But this gameplay is better if you can do it right. It's really hard. It's something to strive for. Think about the gameplays, guys. It's something you're going to have to spend a lot of time on and trial. You're going to mess it up sometimes. You're going to do it when the wave isn't pushing in. You're going to do it when the enemy carry doesn't even die to you. You're going to do it when the enemy has 4 TPs available and you get mass TP'd on a Shadow Fiend and you just explode because this hero can't get out and your team wasn't ready. Like, you have to keep in mind, there's a lot of factors that make the gameplay risky. His team was connecting to most of them. The wave was pushed in. Plus, he was having a good game. And he bought early game items. These things really stack up. It's not a one-part equation. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.